Padaantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaguna Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगे राधे वृंदवनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्री गुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दं माधवम् श्री गुरु परमानंद प्रेमानंद फलाप्रदा भुजानंद प्रदानंद सेवयं मनोजय। So the Radha Damodar Lila is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto. The 10th canto is almost entirely devoted to to pastimes of Krishna. In the 9th chapter of the 10th canto, it begins. Sukadev Goswami says that Ekada means one time. Right? So what was happening one time? So it was Deepavali. It was the day of Deepavali, and Mother Yashoda, she was in the kitchen, and she was churning milk to make butter out of it. So one of the questions that comes up is that Mother Yashoda was the queen of Vrindavan. Her husband Nand Baba, he was the leader. Why did she have to do this task herself? Even today in India, this is one thing I missed when we came from India to US. Here you have to do everything yourself. India, you can delegate a lot of tasks. So especially for somebody like Mother Yashoda, who is the queen of Vrindavan, why is she standing in the kitchen and churning milk on her own? So the acharyas explain that at this time, Krishna is 3 years old. So he's 3 years old means that now he's walking around, he's talking a little bit, and he's very, very naughty. So one of the things that he started doing when he turned 3 years is stealing butter. So he would go to the house. He won't steal butter from his own house. He had a small gang, and he was the leader of the gang, and they would strategize which house to go, what time that particular gopi is busy or sleep, and then they would go, and few of the friends would stand guard, few of them will go inside, and they would steal butter. Now Krishna had unlimited butter in his own house. It's said that so if you go to Gokul, where this pastime happens, the devotees over there will show you like a small pond, and that used to be filled with butter. Right? Krishna, Nand Baba had 900,000 cows. It's the loving interaction that Krishna had, the rasa that Krishna had. So he would not eat the butter of his own house, but he would go and steal it from his neighbors. And then there was this whole thing that would go down. The gopis would come and complain to Mother Yashoda, and then Krishna would look completely innocent, saying that he would say, Maya, why would I steal butter? You have such good butter in your house. Your butter is the best in the world. Why should I steal? She is lying. She would say them on their face that she's lying. Once when Krishna was stealing, there was one gopi who was very, very determined to catch Krishna stealing butter. So just like Krishna used to make elaborate plans, she also made elaborate plans. And one day she actually caught Krishna stealing butter. So she caught hold of Krishna's arm and said, today I have caught you red-handed or butter-handed. So I'm going to take you to your mother. Because generally when I take, you make us all liars. So she caught hold of Krishna's hand and then took him to Mother Yashoda's house. And there she complained. She says, look, your son, he's such a rascal. You don't accept the fact that he's stealing butter, but look, he's stealing. I caught him red-handed. And Mother Yashoda is smiling and smiling. And she says, why are you smiling? You should chastise your son. So she said, look at him. So she looked at him, then Krishna had become that gopi's son. So she was completely shocked. She would say, how did this happen? And she was so bewildered that she said, okay, I'm sorry, maybe I made a mistake. She caught hold of Krishna's hand again, who was now looking like her son, and took him back. And then Krishna became Krishna again. And then she was like, what's going on? So Krishna said that next time you catch me, I will become your husband. And then you will be out on the streets, dragging your husband by your hand. So Krishna he was just 3 years old. Everybody loved him, but he used to threaten everybody like this. That sometimes when he would go to people's houses, and if he was not able to get the butter, sometimes they put the butter so high on the roof that despite everything, they would not be able to get it. And then Krishna would pass stool and urine in that house, saying these guys are daridras. So they're living like daridras, so that's what it is. That's what they deserve. Once a Gopa caught hold of Krishna and said, why are you stealing butter? Aren't you ashamed of yourself that you're a thief? Krishna says, I'm not a thief, you're a thief. He says, why? Why am I a thief? He says, all this belongs to me. And you are enjoying what belongs to me. So ultimately, you are the thief. So you should be ashamed of yourself. And then he chastises him. And now, of course, Acharyas say that everything that Krishna says is Vedic. Whether Krishna is Krishna, right? So when we sing the Damodar Ashtakam, what is the first line of Damodar Ashtakam? Namam Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam, right? So when we are reciting the Damodar Lila, the first point that is made is Namam Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam. That this is Ishwar, who is Sachidananda Rupam, who is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should never confuse. We should never say that God is a thief. Right? Sometimes people say that God is a thief, so I can be a thief. Or sometimes people say that Krishna was dancing with the wives of other men, so it's okay for me to dance with the wives of other. Once somebody said that to Prabhupada. Krishna was dancing with other people's wives, so it's okay for me. So Prabhupada said, Krishna picked up the Govardhan, so first pick up the Govardhan and then dance with other people's wives. Right? So Krishna is Krishna. He's God. Right? He does his pastimes in order to inspire devotion in us. Right? He is meant to be heard, not followed. Right? When Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, he gave us the instructions. Right? So when we look at these pastimes, we see what is it that Krishna wants to teach us. It's not that we become like Krishna, because we can never become like Krishna. So like when Krishna says that you are a thief, in the Upanishad, Isha Upanishad, the point is made, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatam jagat. That everything animate and inanimate belongs to Krishna. Tena taktena bhunjata ma grada kaschis vidana. Then we should only take what is allocated for us. Not that we don't take anything. The reason Krishna creates everything is because he wants us to partake of it. But only that we are supposed to do. So when Mother Yashoda kept hearing these over and over again, that your son is a thief and you're not giving him good food at home, so he's coming and stealing. So of the 900,000 cows that Nand Baba had, there were 8 cows that were special. They were known as the Pushpagandhas, and the milk was fragrant. It was fragrant and special. So Mother Yashoda had specially gotten those cows milked. And she said, maybe my servants are not doing a good job. So today I will make butter for Krishna personally. So it was Diwali day. So she had given different responsibilities to different people in the house, and they were all busy. And Mother Yashoda was busy churning the milk. And Sukdev Goswami, very poetically, he describes Mother Yashoda, that as she is churning the milk, she is singing about Krishna's pastimes, what he does, what he likes, and she's smiling, thinking about the different antics of Krishna. So that is the perfection of one's life, that by body, by tongue, and by mind, if one is able to focus on service to the Lord. So by her hands, she is churning. By her tongue, she is singing the glories of Krishna. And in her mind, she is meditating about Krishna's pastimes. So what happens when a devotee is doing that? Krishna personally comes. Okay, so we see in the case of Mother Yashoda, she does not go to Krishna. Krishna gets up, sees that his mother is not there. Then he gets off the bed and he goes into the kitchen, right? Even when Krishna appears before Mother Yashoda does not stop her service. She continues to churn the milk and look at Krishna. So the main relationship between a devotee and the Lord is that of service. Like how can I serve the Lord? And nothing interrupts that. Even the Lord does not interrupt that. Krishna has himself come, and even then Mother Yashoda is continuing with her service. Sometimes we think that the perfection of bhakti is that Krishna fulfills all my desires. Right? We think that's the perfection of bhakti. Like nowadays they don't have, but in earlier days, when I was growing up, there used to be a lot of movies that had like a religious flavor in them. And one of the typical thing was that, either the hero or the hero's mother would go to the temple and say that, I have never asked you for anything, but today you should do this for me. Right? And then suddenly all the bells are going, and then, something is happening, and whatever that person is asking for suddenly happens. Right? That's the That's the distorted view of a relationship with the Lord. Prabhupada would say that is the order supplier. You go to the Lord and say that I will give you $10. In return for that, you give me $1,000 worth of benefit. Get me a promotion, get me a new car, get me this. And for that, I'm going to give you $10. Right? So Prabhupada would say that's the order supplier. That this is my order, this is the money, and this is how you will, you need to repay it. But actually, as we see in this pastime, that the mood of a devotee is to serve the Lord. That's the perfection. Like when we chant, what is the perfection of chanting? That we develop a taste for chant. It's not that when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with this desire that I develop siddhis, or I develop aishwarya, or I develop good health. Those things come by themselves, right? It's not that one has to aspire for them. And when an iron piece is put into the fire, then many things happen by itself. It becomes red, it becomes hot. All those things happen by themselves. So when we come in connection with the Lord, then Krishna is Shuddha Sattva. He's fully auspicious. That auspiciousness automatically comes. In the Dipavali pastime, it said that when Dashrath asked Lord Ram to leave, Sita Devi also left. Who's Sita Devi? Lakshmi Devi. Right? When you turn Lord Vishnu away, then Lakshmi Devi automatically goes away. When you invite Lord Vishnu back to your house, you don't have to invite Lakshmi Devi separately. She automatically comes. In fact, Lakshmi Devi herself says that I am a woman and by nature I'm fickle. So if somebody invites me to his house, I may stay or I might go. But I am a chaste wife. Wherever my husband is, I will always be there. So when Krishna comes in our life, then all auspiciousness automatically comes. You don't have to go for it separately. So we see this mood in Mother Yashoda, that her service to Krishna that mood of service is so strong that even Krishna cannot distract her. No, but of course Krishna is Krishna. He demands exclusive attention, right? He says the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, and then he says, Samdhana pratyajaya mam ekam sharanam, right? He uses very specifically the pronoun mam, me, ekam, only me. Don't say me and Lord Shiva, me and Lord Ganesh. Mam ekam sharanam. Aham tam sarpapebhyo mokshami masuch. Right? So the nature of our relationship with Krishna is that Krishna loves us completely and he also demands exclusivity. Now, this doesn't mean that Krishna says that you don't, you begin to disregard everybody else, right? He doesn't say that. Doesn't mean that you go and say that, oh, I don't care about Lord Shiv, don't care about Lord Brahma, who cares about Lord Ganesh, I only care about Krishna. That's an offense. But what he means is that shelter, there is only one God, and that is Krishna. So one should only take shelter of Krishna. And when one takes shelter of Krishna, then one automatically develops this mode of service towards everybody else. So then when one serves Lord Shiva, then it's in the mood that Lord Shiva is the highest of the Vaishnavas. Right? Vaishnava Nams, Param Shambhu. That amongst all the Vaishnavas, the greatest is Lord Shiva. When one serves Durga Devi, like the gopis, right after this Kartik ends, the next day, what starts? Katyani Vrata, right? Katyani Vrata is for Durga Devi. And the gopis follow it. Now, why are they doing the Vrata? Because they want Krishna. So that does not mitigate the mood. The mood is still that somehow or the other, I have to serve Krishna. By taking shelter of others, that's what we do, right? We never try to approach Krishna directly. We approach through the parampara, through the disciplic succession. We approach through deities. We approach through other devotees, right? So we take shelter of other more advanced personalities and then take shelter. So that is recommended. What is not recommended is tattva vibrama. Right? The tattva is that there is only one God, and that is Krishna. That there should be no vibrama. There should be no confusion about that. So now Krishna is watching that Mother Yashoda. She is not stopping the churning. So Krishna reaches with his hand and holds the rod, and the churning stops. So Mother Yashoda is looking very proudly at Krishna. So when children are growing, then the mothers are looking at each and every aspect of them. Right? There is a small teeth coming, and they're excited. There's small teeth coming. Oh, now he's able to hold his head up. Now he's able to recognize my voice. Right? So Mother Yashoda is very proud that my Lala, he has the strength to stop this. Right? He puts forward his hand and stops it. And then she's also appreciating his intelligence. That right at the root, he has stopped it. He's not trying to hold her hand or pull her pallu. Right at the root, he stops the churning. So the acharyas say this is Krishna's instruction to us, that stop churning in this cycle of birth and death over and over again. If we don't take shelter of Krishna, we take shelter of the material energy. What does the material energy give us? Jatasya dhrumatyu dhrum janma mritasya. Right? You take birth, you die. You take birth again, you die. Sometimes you will be born as a demigod. Sometimes you will be born in the lower planets. Sometimes you will get a human form. Sometimes you will get an animal form. But the cycle continues. Whether you are Brahma or you are the lowest insect, everybody goes through this cycle of birth and death. So when Krishna is stopping that churning, he's saying, stop this churning of going through different bodies. And do what? So what does Krishna do after he stops the rod? He himself gets onto the lap of Mother Yashoda. So Mother Yashoda does not pick him up. So if there are some pictures that you can see, he catches hold of her knee, he pulls himself up, and he sits into her lap. So when a devotee is serving Krishna by body, by mind, by words, Krishna forcibly enters into the heart of the devotee. One does not have to aspire to do it separately. So in the three things, so it is said that once a person takes to spirituality, there are three things. There is Bhagwan, there is Bhakta, and there is Bhakti. Bhakti is the most powerful, even more powerful than Bhagwan, because as we can see, it binds the Lord. That what Mother Yashoda is doing is Shuddha Bhakti. She is neglecting Krishna. But Krishna is forcibly coming into her lap. That's the nature. That is how much the Lord is attracted by the process of devotional service. And what is the process of devotional service in this day and age? Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalau nastev, nastev, nastev gatir anyata. Simply by chanting the names of the Lord, one will execute the perfection of devotional service. Kalau nastev, nastev. There's no other way, no other way, no other way. Right? And what is the names that we have to chant? That is given in the Kali Sanatana Upanishad. That when Narad Muni asked Brahma that what is the method for perfection in this age of Kali. So he said, these people in the age of Kali, they are going to be so quarrelsome and misguided and lazy and manda, that they have limited intelligence. How will they make devotional advancements? Right? And then Lord Brahma says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashkam Namanam Kali Kalantram Nashanam Nat Paratropaya Sarva Vede Shidrshit. So Brahma is saying, Sir, I read all the Vedas. Brahma is he gave us the Vedas, right? He is the master of the Vedas. But he's still, out of humility, he says, Sarva Vede Shidrshit. I have read all the Vedas. And Iti Shodashkam Namanam. This mantra that has 16 names in it. Kali Kalantram Nashanam. And it will destroy all the misfortunes in the age of Kali. Actually, taking birth in this age of Kali is also the highest fortune. Because in the age of Satyug and Treta and Dwapar, one had to perform so much of austerity or meditation or temple worship in order to get perfection. All that is easily obtained simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So in one way, it's a disadvantage. But if by some good fortune, we come in contact with representatives of Krishna, like Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, and we take to this process, then most fortunate. Like in schools, I remember this actually happened to me, that at least when I was growing up in Indian schools, they would have sections like A, B, C, D, and they would actually divide them by the percentage that the students would get. So the people in the A section, they were the ones who were the highest scorers. People in the D section were the duffers. They were like, they were low scorers there. In my school, they had all the way till F section. F section where people were, and that time we were not that, I guess, socially sensitive. We used to call the F section people failures, B section people duffers, A section people acers. So I remember this happened to me, that when I was in the 6th grade, I fell sick. So I got very bad marks in my exam. So I was in the A section, I was moved to the C section.
Oh no.
And it was like big, my house, everybody was, you know how Indian parents are, like, your life is over now. And, there's no future for you. My dad went and talked to the principal. He said, I can't do it. This is just a rule, right? So they put me in the C section. But the good thing that happened was that in the A section, I used to be like maybe 5th, 6th in the class. In the C section, I was first in the class. Right? So suddenly I became like, the teacher's favorite, the top performer. And I was still the same. It's not that I became smart. It's that promotion. Huh?
Was it promotion or demotion?
Ultimately, I think it worked out well for me. So that's the advantage we have in this age of Kali. That the bar is so low that by a little bit of effort, we can cross the bar. Right? Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we can cross this bar. We can keep some time in the day, in the morning. If you're initiated, chanting 16 rounds. Otherwise, whatever you can chant. So we see that when Krishna he forcibly goes into the lap of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda, she starts feeding Krishna. Right? And Krishna is drinking Mother Yashoda's milk. Mother Yashoda is looking at Krishna, and just by seeing him, more and more milk is being produced. So this is the loving exchange between the Lord and his devotee. That the devotees appreciate the quality of the Lord appreciates the qualities of the devotee, and just that rasa, it is, that's why I said spirituality is ever fresh, because that mutual appreciation is constantly going on. Every time Krishna looks at us, he says, oh, this one new quality I found, very good quality in him, that he is honest. Oh, I see another quality. See the quality that he is fixed. And every time we look at Krishna, we find a new quality in Krishna. Right? So that mutual appreciation keeps growing and growing and growing. Now, while this is happening, there is somebody who is very unhappy. Who's unhappy? Who's unhappy? The milk is unhappy. Because what Mother Yashoda had also done, that part of the milk she was churning, and part of the milk she had put on the stove. And she was heating it, that when Krishna gets up, I will give him this milk. So she had put it on a low flame, and that milk was slowly warming. Now, in the spiritual world, everything is sensient, right? In the material world, there are only two things that are sensient. Everything else is jad. There are only two things that are sensient: Jiva and Paramatma, right? Krishna and Jiva. But everything else is jad, insensate. In the spiritual world, every grain of sand, every drop of water, every leaf, every tree is sensient. Satchita Nand, fully sensient. Right? So the milk is fully sensient. And what is the milk thinking? That in this mutual appreciation and ecstasy, that Mother Yashoda will never stop producing milk for Krishna, and Krishna will never be satisfied drinking Mother Yashoda's milk. So our service was to feed Krishna. We won't be able to do our service. So the milk says, what is the point of our existence? If you're not able to serve Krishna, so I might as well commit suicide. So how does milk commit suicide? By boiling over. So the milk starts boiling over, so we'll go into the fire and commit suicide. Now, when the milk rises, so those who are more experienced in this, they know that when the milk rises, it creates a sound, like a sound like that. So Mother Yashoda heard that, and then she quickly puts Krishna down, and she says that milk is specially for Krishna. So we see again that mood, that service to Krishna is even higher than personal association with Krishna. Right? So she puts Krishna down, and then the Acharya says she is thinking that my milk is always there for Krishna. But that milk that has specially been from the Pushpagandha cows, especially I've made it for Krishna, if that goes waste, then I'll be depriving Krishna of that. So thinking like that, she puts Krishna down and she rushes into the kitchen. Krishna is not happy. So he's unhappy that he was drinking milk. He was still not satisfied. But one of Krishna's name is Atmaram. Right? So what does Atmaram mean? One who is fully self-satisfied. Right? Krishna has everything. He's fully self-satisfied. There is one thing that Krishna does not have. Right? He does not have our love. That's the reason we are there. That there is a particular relationship that each one of us has with Krishna, which is unique to only us, nobody else. Of the billions and trillions of jivas, each jiva has a unique relationship with the Lord. And when that jiva is Bahirmukhi, when that jiva turns away from Krishna, then that relationship is stopped. So it is said that Krishna misses us 1,000,000 times more than we miss Krishna. Because we may have forgotten, Krishna has not forgotten. Krishna knows that this is our eternal position. And when we turn away from him, nobody else can have that particular relationship with Krishna. So he is missing. Missing in the Brihad Bhagavad Amrita, it said that when the jiva goes back to Krishna, then the jiva is happy to see Krishna, but Krishna is so happy that he actually embraces the jiva and faints in happiness. That's how much Krishna is missing us. So when Krishna's service is stopped, he's angry. Now this is the personality of Godhead who is fully replete in everything, in all the possible Aishwaryas, right? But he's missing the milk of Mother Yashoda. So what does he do? He takes a stone and he breaks the pot in which Mother Yashoda was churning. Right? And the acharyas say that he breaks it in such an expert way that the maximum amount of butter is spilled. So he does not break it at the top. He takes a stone, he hits it at the base, so that when it breaks, then by its own weight, the whole butter comes. And then he runs away. So now Mother Yashoda, in the meantime, she has taken the milk off the fire, kept it, she comes back, and like any mother, it takes her exactly 5 seconds to figure out what's happened. So she sees that Krishna is not there, she sees the pot is broken, and then she sees the footprints and butter. So when Krishna ran away, he stepped on the butter and ran away. So he left his footprints. So he goes and sits in the courtyard. Now Mother Yashoda is worried. She's not worried about the butter, but she's worried that her son is becoming a ruffian. Radhanath Maharaj says that she's worried that her son is becoming a hippie. So she says, if I don't discipline him, he'll become a hippie. So as a mother, my responsibility is not only to nurture him, but to discipline him also. So when devotees are making advancements, they have two kinds of relationships with the Lord. Right? One is Tadiya and one is Mamatva. So Tadiya is this sense that I belong to the Lord, very exalted, that I belong to Krishna. I'm completely, whatever Krishna does, I'm Krishna's. But then there are devotees who are even more exalted. They say that Krishna belongs to me. So Mother Yashoda has that mood. I have to take care of him. This is the personality of Godhead. He's taking care of unlimited universes. Mother Yashoda is, if I don't take care of him, he'll become a ruffian. So it's my responsibility. So she runs after Krishna. And in order to discipline him, she takes a stick in her hand. Now what's Krishna doing? So he broke that pot. He's sitting in the courtyard. In the courtyard, there is an ukhal. It's a grinding mortar. He sits on top of it. He has stolen some more butter while on his way, and he's feeding the monkeys. So the acharyas say that when Krishna came as Ram, He took a lot of service from monkeys. They were his army, they fought with Ravan. And so Krishna thinks that I took so much service from them, let me do some service to them. Let me feed them butter. So Krishna is feeding them butter. And he's very, very fearful also. So what happens when somebody has a guilt conscious? That he's constantly looking over his shoulder. What's going to happen when Mother Yashoda comes? But then he has this bravado also. I don't care. Who cares, right? So you take butter. And monkeys are obviously very obliging. They're all sitting and eating butter. So he looks back. No, Mother Yashoda. Okay, take more butter. Suddenly, all the monkeys disappear. So if you have gone to Vrindavan, then one thing you'll notice there, the monkeys there are very naughty. They'll come and steal your glasses, or they'll open up your bag and steal stuff from there. If you have a stick in hand, they'll never come close to you. They respect the stick, even if it's a small stick. Just keeping that stick. One thing we do go to Vrindavan is we get a stick, right? And you keep the stick in your hand. Monkeys will give you. I mean, they'll still, if you wear a glass, they'll still steal it, but they won't like be blatantly attacking you. So Krishna is sitting like this. Mother Yashoda comes from behind with a stick in hand. The monkeys are in front of Mother Yashoda. They see the stick, they're gone. So Krishna understands something has gone. So he looks back and then he sees Mother Yashoda coming with stick in hand. So like the monkeys, Krishna is also scared of the stick. So he jumps off the ukal and he makes a beeline for the Simadwar. So like in the houses at the time, even now you have that, but there used to be one main entrance and they have smaller gates. So his plan of action is that I will run out of the main entrance, and then I will go and try and find my father somewhere. So Nand Baba had gone on some work. I'll go and try and find Nand Baba, or maybe I'll hide in some other gopis' house. So that's his plan of action. So he makes a beeline for the main entrance. Mother Yashoda is running behind him. And Sukadeva Goswami, he describes Mother Yashoda that she's perspiring. He describes her physical attributes also, that she's heavy-bodied. She's wearing that langa, not really set up to like not set up to like run. She runs behind Krishna and catches him from behind. Right? And while she is running, the flowers from her hair, Malati flowers, they are falling off. So the acharyas say that the flowers are also sentient, right? So why are they falling off? Some of the flowers are saying that she's going to beat our worshipable Lord. I don't want anything to do with this. Better for me to get out of this, right? So they are both devotees, will get unnecessarily caught in this. So better to distance myself. So they jump off her head. Some other flowers are thinking, very good, that she is running after Krishna. But maybe we are weighing her down. So let us get off so that she's lighter and she can run faster. And there are some other flowers that are saying, oh my God, look at this Leela. That the Supreme Lord is running in fear of her. We don't belong to, we don't deserve to sit on the head of such a personality. We should be at her lotus feet. So they are jumping off and going into her lotus feet. So the acharyas say that Krishna is faster than the fastest. The yogis, they can travel at the speed of mind. Like the physical limit is traveling at the speed of light. But faster than that is the speed of mind. The yogis, by their mystic powers, they can think of a place and be there. They cannot catch Krishna. By all their siddhis, they cannot catch Krishna. Mother Yashoda, she ran from behind. Satyavrata Muni says, not that she intercepted. It was a fair race in which Krishna had a head start. She ran from behind and catches hold of him. That's the power of a devotee. Even if Krishna tries to run, firstly, Krishna will never run from a devotee. Even if he runs, the devotee runs faster than the Lord. And the devotee always gets the Lord. So, Mother Yashoda, she runs from behind and she catches hold of Krishna. So, when she has caught hold of Krishna, she sees that his eyes are fearful. Why is eyes fearful? Because he's looking at the stick in the hand. Is she going to beat him? So the first thing Mother Yashoda does is she throws away the stick. Now in the Bhagavatam it is not mentioned, but Acharyas by their own realizations, Hari Sori and Jiva Goswami, they say that there is also this conversation that is happening between Mother Yashoda and Krishna. Mother Yashoda is saying, you have become very naughty. And Krishna is saying that actually this house is no longer fit for me to live. So better for me to leave the house and go and live in somebody else's house. And sometimes children do that, right? They basically threaten their parents that if I don't get this, I'm going to leave the house. I'll go somewhere else. And Radha Govind Maharaj says that in villages, it is he's from a small village in Bihar, I think. She said in villages this is common. When there is arguments, then even amongst adults, if there's a husband and wife fighting, the husband says that this is enough now. I'm going to take sannyas. I'm leaving. The wife says, okay, you take sannyas. I'm going to my mother's house. So the husband goes to the forest. The wife goes to the mother's house. In the evening, they're both eating puri and kattu. Right? So he says this thing happens on a daily basis. He says like the fights between a husband and wife is like the pre-monsoon clouds. There's a lot of thunder, there's a lot of lightning, no rain. There, right? So Krishna is in that mood. He's like, I'm going to go to the forest. I live with the monkeys. And Mother Yashoda is saying, yeah, you are a monkey. You should live with the monkeys. He's saying, you're starving me. Look at me. I'm only skin and bones. And you're not giving me food. Mother Yashoda says, okay, if you think I'm starving you, just see what I will do now. So because Mother Yashoda is concerned that Krishna might actually, he was very naughty. He might actually run away into the forest. He said, I'll bind you to the grinding water, the ukal. So then comes the famous, the bandhan pastime. That Mother Yashoda, she first takes a small ribbon from a thread. Right? Krishna is 3 years old, can't be very big. And then she tries to tie. The rope is short. She goes and gets more rope and ties it up and tries to tie it. Still the rope is short. So now by this time, the neighborhood gopis, they have become aware that something interesting is happening. So now they have all come into the courtyard. They're all giving advice to Mother Yashoda. They twist this rope like this and put it over here. And they're going to their own houses and they're giving ropes. Yes, take more rope from me. So all the ropes are tied together and still it's not able to tie Krishna. The acharyas say Krishna is Ichha Shakti. Krishna does whatever he wants. That's why he's God. If Krishna did not have complete freedom, he would not be God. So we know that we don't have, we can't do whatever we want. We can't become immortal. I might say, let me fly in the sky. Can't do that. Maybe some entities can, but they can't do other things. Right? That's because we're not God. Krishna is God. He can do whatever he wants. So his Ichha Shakti, his desire was not to get bound. But then his Ichha Shakti is now competing with the desires of his devotee. So the two fingers is the mercy of the Lord and the determination of the devotee. So Mother Yashoda is determined, even though after some time the gopis are saying, let it be, let it be. And she said, no, I will tie, I will tie. Right? So that is the determination of the devotee that attracts the mercy of the Lord. Like sometimes we say, if Krishna is God and he wants us back, why doesn't he just get us back? He's God, right? Why does he want us to do chanting, to follow regulative principles, to worship him? What's the need for all that? Right? He's all powerful. Why doesn't he get us back? Yes, he's all powerful. But he'll only get us back when we show a desire to be reclaimed. Right? So, like, I was reading today that this, what is it called? This lottery, Powerball. The Powerball in Maryland, not in Maryland, the Powerball, I think, is $1.2 billion. Right? It's really. Now, if you have to get that money, you have to at least put, I don't know how much they cost, maybe $1, right? One ticket, or $5. $2. So at least you have to put in $2. Now you may or may not get it, but if you don't put the $2, you will definitely not get it, right? Like I haven't bought that ticket. I can tell you 100% sure I'm not going to get that $1.2 billion. So the devotee, the jiva has to do something, some effort. Otherwise, how will they get the mercy of the Lord? Now, the mercy of the Lord is billions and trillions of dollars. The effort that we put is a few cents, but we have to put that few cents in. Otherwise, how does Krishna know that we are keen, we are interested in coming back? We can never go to Krishna on our own, but we can attract the mercy of Krishna on our own. We can at least put that $2 down and say that I want this $1 billion reward. Right? So the endeavor of Yashodamai attracted the mercy of Krishna, and he allows himself to be bound. So now the movie is over. The gopis, they stay for some time, they make fun of Krishna. So the acharyas say that the conditioned souls like us, because we made some mistake, Krishna has bound us by these molds of material nature into the material world. So when they see Krishna is bound by another devotee, they feel very happy. You have bound us. Now it's good that you're getting a taste of your own medicine. Everybody was happy. Okay, they teased Krishna, but ultimately they had work to do. They went back. In the meantime, Lord Balram comes and he sees Krishna tied and he tries to open the knots, but he's unable to open the knots. Right? So Acharyas explained that the knots have been tried by Vatsalya Rasa, by a mother. With the love of the mother, so Lord Balram has a Sakhya Rasa, a mood of friendship. The love of a mother is far superior to the love of a Sakhya. So the knots that were tried by the mother could not be opened by a friend. So then Lord Balram goes into threaten Yashodamai, saying, you open Krishna. He is the personality of Godhead. I am personality of Godhead. And you don't know what you have done. Open it. So Mother Yashoda says, you want me to tie you also? He says, no. So he goes away. So Mother Yashoda says, all these personality of Godheads appeared in my courtyard only. Right? So she orders Balram out. So Krishna is now is there. His Gopa friends are now, so they're scared of Mother Yashoda. So they're sitting by the wall. And Krishna, when he sees that Mother Yashoda is looking at him, then he starts crying. He gets a very pitiful face. And when he sees the Gopas are looking at him, then he's pretending that this is all his own. He's like, this has been arranged by him. He's completely in control. So he smiles at them and smirks at them. Then he sees Yashoda Mai looking at him. He starts crying pitifully. And then Mother Yashoda goes inside and again starts smirking at the Gopas. So finally the Gopas also get bored. Right? So they go around playing. So now Krishna in the courtyard, he sees two Yamalarjun trees. Very, very tall trees. Right? And Bhagavatam it is explained that these are the two sons of Kubera, Nal Kubera and Managriv. So they were cursed by Narad Muni to become trees. So they're standing there for thousands of years as trees. So when a jiva does sinful activities, then they lose the human form of life. Right? And getting a plant form of life is one of the lowest forms. There's barely any consciousness there. So those two sons of Kubera are standing as trees, patiently waiting for thousands of years. Krishna looks at them. Now he's able to relate to them. Because Krishna used to play in the courtyard earlier on. The trees were still there. But now he's tied and they are tied. So he has a sense of empathy. I've been tried by my mother, you have been tied by the curse of Narad. He says, okay, let me help you. So he crawls between the trees, and by the force of the ukhal, he uproots both these trees. So uprooting these Arjun trees is they actually grow a lot in Mauritius, and they have such deep roots. They're almost half as deep as the tree. So in Mauritius, they have these huge cyclones and everything goes away, but the trees are standing. They're very, very strong and firm. So Krishna, he uproots them. And they fall with a huge sound like thunder. And when they fall, Mother Yashoda comes running, the Gopas come running, Nand Baba comes running. He was on his way back. Nand Baba comes running. And then he comes and he immediately opens the knots. It's because he has the same rasa, right? Vatsalya. He's father, she's mother. So he easily opens the knot and he picks Krishna in his lap. So he says, what happened? What happened? And the Gopas are saying, Krishna pulled the trees down. He says, don't be ridiculous. How can Krishna pull the tree? And Mother Yashoda comes, and Krishna is so angry with Mother Yashoda that he is refusing to look at her. So Mother Yashoda says, come. He says, sorry, not interested. Right? So he's clinging to Nand Baba. Nand Baba is angry at Mother Yashoda. How could you do this? And Mother Yashoda is so mortified that she's just sitting over there, crying and crying and crying. So after some time, Krishna, he gets off the embrace of Nand Baba, and then he goes back to Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda, she picks up Krishna and she begins to feed. So the Acharya says the whole pastime started because Krishna wanted to be fed. And it ends with Krishna being fed. Right? So the whole pastime was enacted to attract the hearts of the devotees. Right? So we see in this pastime all the mellows that are converging. We see the mellow of Vatsalya between Krishna and Yashoda, Sakhya between Krishna and Balram and Gopas. We see Aishwarya, Krishna uprooting the Arjun tree. Right? So all the mellows, they are churning, just like Mother Yashoda is churning the milk and getting butter. All the mellows are churning in this pastime. And what is coming out of it? Bhakti. That one who hears this pastime with faith gets pure devotional service. That is assured. Okay, so I'll stop over here. See if there is any discussion. Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, I joined when you were talking about Krishna's mercy. Is it okay to think of that Krishna's mercy is there regardless of how we feel the situation is positive or negative? It's very easy to feel mercy when things are going our way or we get something good happens. So we can say, oh, Krishna's mercy is there. But when something bad happens, it's still okay to think that Krishna is making it happen and we have to accept it instead of feeling, instead of having feelings of, guilt or remorse. We should still feel in a way positive that Krishna is still there with us, even though the bad things are happening. This is Krishna's mercy in a way making it happen. Is it okay to think of those situations like that?
Definitely. Not only is it okay, it is recommended that if one is able to develop that mood, that anything good or bad is happening, it's an opportunity for me to somehow make spiritual advancements. Like the famous verse, Tattenu Kampam Susumikshamano, Lord Brahma prays that a person who patiently tolerates all the misfortunes that is happening, considering them to be the mercy of Krishna, for him, Brahma says, devotional service is his birthright. Just like a son, just by being born, inherits the wealth of the father. It does not have to do anything. Just by being born, he inherits the wealth. Similarly, when a devotee develops that mood, then it becomes his right for bhakti. So if you are able to see adversities as opportunities for advancements, what are the lessons that are being taught? Sometimes adversities teach us humility. Sometimes they teach us about the fact that there are other controllers. We are not the controller. Right? So if you're able to develop that mood, those are the qualities that are attractive to Krishna. And that's how, and then he reciprocates. Right? He gives more realizations. He gives the strength to withstand those adversities. Because the nature of life is that there always will be adversities. If you introspect and step back, then most of our lives are adversities with small plateaus of where we said, okay, I'm in control, or we thought we were in control. And when we thought we were in control, something else came. Right? That's the nature of material life. But if you're able to take them as lessons that we can learn, then they are no longer adversities. Right? They are valuable lessons for us.
Kunti Devi is a great example of that.
Kunti Devi is an exalted example. I mean, she's actually asking for. I mean, we should not do that. We're not Kunti Devi, but she's actually asking for adversities. Srila Prabhupada had this that he had established a factory in Lucknow, and then one day somebody came and told him thieves have stolen all the material from your factory. And he said, okay. And then he says, they have also burned your factory. Everything is gone now. Right? And then Prabhupada says, now I can understand Krishna is becoming really merciful. Right? So a very advanced realization, but we can definitely appreciate the mood and try and cultivate it. Thank you, sir. Wonderful question. Anything else? Sindhu Mataji?
As practicing devotees, our mind keeps swaying all over the direction. One day we get up energetic to chant. The next day, it's like, it's okay, I chanted it. How do you, what encouragement do you give? Should I tell to myself to keep the process going? Just eat only prasadam. Like during the month of Kartik, eat only prasadam. If somebody invites me, maybe just today one day. I just, it's okay. I have observed the 29 days, so one day is okay. So how do you just, pull your mind back and to like keep the encouragement going on? How to encourage yourself? How to inspire yourself?
Thank you, Madhu. It's a very practical question. So Prabhupada would give this example that if you want to stay enthusiastic, you should associate with people who are enthusiastic. Like he says that if somebody wants to become an expert craftsman, then he goes and joins a guild or something where these people are experts, right? And then he absorbs their mood, their enthusiasm. So what we cannot get from within, we can get from without, right? So by constant association with those who are also on the same path, not necessarily that they're perfect, but they're on the same path. Like I have a good day one day and you have a good day the other day. So on my good day, I can inspire you. On your good day, you can inspire you. Like there's a song, Lean on Me, for I'm strong. And then you can lean on, I can lean on you when you are strong, right? So that mood of support. That's the most powerful thing. Then there are other things also that help, and you were alluding to it, that when we are sadhakas, this is expected. That's why we are sadhakas. If we didn't have this ghantaral, this up and down, then we would not be sadhakas. We would be sadhyas. We would be perfect, right? So what is recommended for sadhakas? Vaidhi Bhakti. What is Vaidhi Bhakti? That you follow devotion by rules and regulation. Right? So I don't know how many of you like going to work. I don't know if there are people, maybe there are some, but most of the people, it's something you do because it pays the bills and helps you attain other things. So then you follow the process. You go to work, you do it, you give it your best, you come back. That's the process. Even though your heart's not in it, but you're following the process. So that's what Vaidhi Bhakti is, that you follow the Vidhi. The Vidhi is chant rounds, follow the regulative principles, worship the devotees, worship the deities, study the scriptures, associate with devotees, right? So simply by following the process, the result is guaranteed. We don't have to, it's like somebody says that I want to become healthy. There's a process. You can't just say that tomorrow I'm going to be healthy. But there's a process that you eat right, you exercise, you sleep in time. And then when you follow the process, you'll automatically become healthy. So that is Vaidhi Bhakti. You follow the Vidhi and then automatically you will achieve the result. So by taking shelter of the process, by taking shelter of others who are following the process, it will help us through this ups and downs. The strongest commitment that we can make is to stay true to the process, right? So some days we may chant good rounds, some day we may not, but we should still chant, right? Someday we may be able to chant in the morning, someday we are too busy, we can't, we should chant in the evening. We should still chant. We have made a commitment that we want to read the scriptures, we still read the scriptures. Right? Someday you may understand, someday you may appreciate, someday it may be a chore, but still read the scriptures. As we follow the process, the purification will happen automatically.
A follow-up question. As you're practicing, what I have noticed, like sometimes you get into the mode of chastising yourself. Like, what are you doing? Right. So, and sometimes it helps, sometimes it does not help. So that's like, based on like, I would love to hear. How does that really work? Should you do it? Should you not do it? Again, I mean, like you definitely explained most of it. Even the tag, not to be strict on yourself. Maybe in the other way of putting it.
So
So you're too strict about yourself. Sometimes, like you will start to, you will. To be very honest, sometimes you're like, gosh, this process. You will feel that. At least I have that sometimes. Like because when you're really hungry, when it is Ekadashi, you're really hungry. Should I really follow Ekadashi? Am I not being strict on myself?
again, I think it's a very good practical question. So there are some things that are non-negotiable. You have to be strict, right? So you go out and you see somebody. It's not going to happen to you because you've never eaten, but there are people who used to eat meat before they came to Krishna consciousness. And they go out and they say, should I be strict on myself? Maybe I can just eat. What difference does it make? That's non-negotiable, right? That's simple. That you should not do. You're initiated, you took a vow to chant 16 rounds, that's non-negotiable, right? You have to chant 16 rounds. Right? So, Ekadashi, you have to fast. Now you can eat so many things other than grain, but you have to fast from grains. That is recommended. So those things, you have to be hard on yourself. Like if it is Ekadashi and you want to eat rice, then you have to be hard on yourself. That I should not eat rice. It's Ekadashi. I can eat quinoa. I can eat something else. In other things, it depends on what is the outcome of it. Does being hard on yourself help you, or does it harm you? If it is harming you, you should not do it. The purpose of Krishna consciousness is that it should make you happy. And so it should not make you, it should not be like, oh my God, I have to go to another program, sit over there, right? So then don't go to the program. So the purpose is that it should increase your bliss. So that's why different devotees, they practice Krishna consciousness in different ways. Once the base is been maintained, there are some devotees who enjoy kirtan, some devotees enjoy deity worship, some devotees enjoy study of shastras, some like to go out and preach, some like to just sit and study. So that's the mood, right? So then there's no point in being hard on yourself that I'm just sitting and studying and this other person is out on the street distributing books. I'm such a fallen devotee. There's no point in that, right? But you're serving in your way, he's serving in his way. So you need to be only as hard as it helps you. Otherwise, it's counterproductive. But as far as the basic is concerned, that is non-negotiable. That you have to follow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, true.
Very nice. My question is like, when we chant, what I find is like, the rasa is not there, or the taste is not there. But when I come to this program, there is a rasa there, because there is a relationship there. I see like, I like from your lectures, I like other devotees. So there's automatically there is joy there. So how do we chant in a relationship? Because I don't see, I'm not relating to that. That may be the one of the reasons not getting the service. So what should be the beginning relationship with Krishna in terms of chanting?
Thank you, Prabhu. So this is of course a common question. The beginning of our relationship with the holy name is coming from two things. It is coming from the philosophical understanding of the potency of the holy name. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasika Punashuddho Mukto. The Vedas say they're coming from Tattva Gyan, and it is coming from our commitment. Right? We have a commitment. We may not have a commitment to chanting, but each one of us are here because somewhere in our heart we have a desire to make advancements, spiritual advancements. Right? Each one could have been somewhere else, doing something else, but we chose to take the time out and be here because in our heart we have this desire to make spiritual advancements. So these are the two things that scripturally we understand that the holy name is the most potent thing, and then we have a commitment that by chanting it is inevitable that the relationship will eventually manifest. So you're right. So you're right and not fully right. So you're right that we don't experience the ecstasy of chanting. Where you're not right is that there are times we do experience the ecstasy. Now, it may not happen as often as we want. It's not that we get up in the morning, take beats, say Hare Krishna, and then we're experiencing that ecstasy. But I can bet you that over the period of chanting your rounds, there are times when you have felt that relationship. And that's what is Krishna giving us a sneak preview. It's like before watching a movie trailer, he's showing us the trailer. That this is what is in store for us. But at this point, because we are practicing devotees, while we aspire for that, we don't predicate our chanting on that. It's like once a devotee went to Prabhupada and says that, Prabhupada, when I'm chanting, I see this purple light coming from my forehead. And Prabhupada said, keep chanting, it will go away. Because new devotees, minds going here and there, we can't predicate our relationship to the holy name on sensory experiences. That I feel calm, I feel quiet, I feel ecstasy today. All that will happen, but in due course. What we predicate it on is the conviction that this is the process and the commitment that following it will give us perfection eventually. Thank you. Okay. Yes, true, please.
Just a question about as we make spiritual advancement, and we heard about the soul and Paramatma, right? The recites the soul. I just want to ask your experience from power of intuition. Like when I thought about it, that as we pray to the God, we are trying to communicate with the God. But intuition is something where God is communicating with you. So as we make spiritual advancement, when you get certain intuitions, is it that the power potency of the God is communicating with you, and do you go with the intuition? How do you take that in your personal experience sometimes in life?
I don't have much personal experience, but I can share based on what Srila Prabhupada shared. So he would always give this example that as you make spiritual advancement, you acquire more and more of the qualities of the Lord. So Krishna is Trikalakya, right? He knows past, present, future. As you make advancement, you become Trikalakya. So that's what intuition is, the ability to divine what's going to happen in the future. This is the right thing, this is the wrong thing. So you see that in advanced devotees. It's because of, it's a byproduct. It's because of their proximity to the Lord. So just like I was saying, that through bhakti, one gets all opulences because of their connection with Krishna. They may not care for it, but they get all opulences. This is one of the opulences, the ability to see the future. It's a little for practicing devotees like us. It is important to follow your intuition as long as it is not going against the scriptures. That's important. Because we are at that stage, we are like, practicing devotees. So we don't know what part of the intuition is because of our proximity to Krishna, what part of it is because of our mental speculation. Right? It's mixed. But we know that if there is an intuition that is driving us in compliance with the scriptures, then we know for sure it's coming from Krishna. That we can.
Sometimes it's not logic, it's not.
It's just a feeling. Just a feeling. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll end now. We'll do.
Couple of more questions.
Yes. Oh, you're. I remember you now.
You are right. One thing Prabhuji said that we shouldn't approach Lord Krishna directly, but through deities or something. In our office, like CEO, CFO, the high levels, officials, you reach them through secretaries, right? No direct connection with them. Is that to indicate what is that to deities you go to the Lord to indicate their level of who they are? Or why can't we approach them directly? Why do I use a mediator to reach my God?
So deities are non-different from Lord, right? So when you look at the deities are the Lord. Right? So when I said that you approach the Lord through his devotees, I would actually use the example that you gave, that how do you approach the CEO of your company? You go through the chain of command and then you approach. So that is Krishna, right? Krishna is the CEO of the creation. We approach him through his representatives. Who are his representatives? The more advanced devotees. So we have this notion of parampara, disciplic succession.
I should have a different connection in the real world and the divine world. And here I should be able to talk to him one-on-one straight back.
You can. You can talk to Krishna. Krishna is there in your heart, right? You can't have a more direct connection with Krishna. Right next to you, Krishna is there. He's still the Supreme Personality of God, right? So when we advance spiritually, one thing that happens is that our mood of ego, it becomes lesser and lesser. So what is the nature of ego? Nature of ego is I am important. Right. So the aham, that I am important. So this mood of saying that I should be able to talk to God directly, it's a manifestation of ego. God is most important, but I'm right next to him. I am God minus one, right? So that's the mood of pride and ego. The mood in the spiritual world is das anudas anudas. That one serves those who serves those who serves those who serve the Lord. If you see all the pastimes, like Krishna is being served by Radharani is being served by the gopis are being served by the manjaris are being served by other manjaris, and everybody is ecstatic. The manjaris are not thinking that we never get to even see Krishna, but their service is ultimately going to Krishna. That is the mood of a devotee, humility. The material mood is that there is God, there is me, I should be sitting right next to him and talking to him. Right? That comes out of pride and ego. So when we transition from material to spiritual, then our ego automatically becomes lesser and lesser. So instead of having this aspirations that I should sit next to the Lord, I should sit directly with the Lord, the aspiration becomes more like, how can I serve somebody who is serving somebody who is serving the Lord? The relationship is still there, right? All the service is going to the Lord. The relationship is still there, but the mood is based on humility.
You said also one more thing, only Ekam. Krishna is the only one, right? Only Ekam. Isn't that the root cause of friction in the society when I say my God is better than your God, only Ekam?
That is, I won't say it is the root cause, Prabhu, but yes, empirically speaking, that is a big cause. When they say my God can beat up your God, then we get into this competition. Ekam also means, Prabhu, this. Once I was watching this presentation, and there is a pond of water, and there are pebbles being thrown. So when the pebble hits the water, there's that eddy that forms, right? And if the pebbles are falling all over the water, then pretty soon the surface of the water is turbulent, right? But if all the pebbles are dropping at the same point, then you have a nice, round, symmetrical shape of it, right? So if everybody is united in the service to Krishna, then there is no, the services may be different, right? A pebble may be small or big or round or square, but they're all united in their service to Krishna. Automatically harmony comes. So that is one understanding of Ekam.
This one is a little light-hearted, third one. You said that invite Krishna, Lakshmi follows. And in the real world, it's the other way around. Didn't get it.
Other way around meaning invite Lakshmi, Krishna followers.
She came, she invited me, I came here.
Oh, okay. You're Lakshmi, right? Well, you're not Krishna, so don't worry about it. I'm okay with her being there. Okay, so thank you very much for giving me a patient hearing.
Question तो नहीं है. Last time I heard so elaborated explanation of how Krishna hold the water channel, and all those you gave with Kartik, like Acharya, how the Acharya relate to that. I don't know, there would be lecture, but I heard so many things last time, and I feel like today is a great day. And I was behind saying Mataji, but somehow not, feeling good, like if she's not comfortable, we can't force. But